Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Joe,
I'm Tyree.
And I'm Cole.
and this is Sports Rush. Today, we're going to be talking about Mount, and then we're going to go into college sports.
So this Friday we have the Blue Hen Conference Championships for wrestling. Other than that, it has not been a good week for Mount. Swimming lost yesterday to Sanford, 58-104. Boys basketball lost to Sally's, 45-50. But they are also flag beat champs, so it's good there. Girls basketball lost to Red Lion yesterday, 38-40, and they faced Tower Hill on Thursday.
Now, on to our college sports with Tyree, and next we'll be talking about the NBA, so stick around.
All right, number one, Virginia. They're 23-2. In second place, Michigan State. They're 24-3. In third, Villanova. They're 23-2. In fourth, Xavier. They're 23-3. In fifth, Cincinnati. They're 23-2.
We have some interesting stuff with the NBA, so let's get right into it.
So, since Steph Curry has returned, he's been on fire. You have anything to think about that or say about that?
I guess he's been all right.
He's been scoring.
He's been pretty
He's
good.
an average on 30 points per game, and he's just been everywhere. We also have Cavs' new look roster.
That roster's looking pretty good right now. I'm telling you
They-
that right now.
They traded away Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder, and Derrick Rose for George Hill, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., and Rodney Hill.
Jordan Clarkson's balling out right now, man. And everyone that's just stepping up, their defense looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Clarkson really looks like he fits in with the Cavs role, so it's just really looking good right now with the Cavs.
A lot of people thought they were going to be bad because of the trade, but they're actually on a 4-game winning streak, so they're doing way better.
You never know. They could slow down. It's possible.
They just beat the Celtics
Yeah,
bad.
Celtics used to be the number one seed. Getting into that now, Raptors are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Number 2 is the Celtics. Number 3 is the Cavaliers. Number 4 is the Bucks, and number 5 is the Wizards. And in the Western Conference, not much change. It's the Warriors are number 1, Rockets number 2. Number 3 is the Spurs. Number 4 we have the Timberwolves, and number 5 we have the Thunder. Our topic question for the NBA today is, how do you think the NBA has evolved from past times to future times now in rules and regulations?
Well, I think the current NBA and past NBA are very different. The current NBA uses 3 balls to score a lot. Everyone's shooting threes.
And
That's number one.
The game,
Centers can shoot.
Yeah, it's no paint game anymore.
yeah, centers are very underestimated.
It's also a lot faster pace. You see, it used to be all under 100 games, 100-point games.
Yeah.
Now,
now that they added, the
close to
shot clock and
150.
stuff. But definitely centers, I feel like have definitely been underestimated lately. I mean, despite DeMarcus Cousins having an injury, he was on fire. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard is also very underrated. I feel like he doesn't get as much spotlight as he used to, but he's definitely putting up. He's putting up the numbers, but. Even, Joel Embiid, he's a great guy. All these players, but, everyone focuses around the Steph Currys of the league or the John Walls or,
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, the Russell Westbrooks, people like that. So,
well, another reason for that is point guards, they're doing a lot now. You see John Wall, Russell Westbrook, they can drive to the basket and they can dunk on centers.
That's what I'm saying, exactly. But centers are always that key role. As you see, the Warriors kind of struggle with that center role, so their weakness would be having a center. So now, it just makes it interesting of teams wanting centers because to beat the Warriors since they're so dominant.
But that role is slowly diminishing in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that many old school centers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Another thing is the All-Star game now is a joke.
Oh yeah,
They don't take it seriously.
Not serious at all.
They go shoot 3-pointers. You saw Russell Westbrook
Yeah,
last year.
they just throw shots. It's not even interesting anymore. And when you think it's interesting, for example, from the play last year, Giannis is coming down the court, Curry's in the paint. You're thinking, oh, what's gonna happen? And then Curry just ducks down. It's just one big joke now. It's just it gets very annoying with people.
Let's get to the past NBA. So the past NBA was much more physical. People were getting punched.
Oh yeah.
Every time they ran in
Definitely,
the paint. There's no zone defense, so that made it a lot more interesting with man-to-man.
Well, true. Well, NBA doesn't really run zone defense like that anymore. But
but it wasn't allowed back then. So you had to be.
Well, yeah, it was illegal. So yeah.
So
yeah. Also rivalries. Back then, you had all these crazy rivalries, and now you still have a couple rivalries, but
It's same team. It's like
Exactly. They all kind of came from back then, like, Celtics, Lakers. Like, the only rivalry that we really see now that's, like, present is, like, Cavs, Warriors, something like that. And I think Celtics, Wizards is kind of starting to become a rivalry, especially since they always play each other in, like, the Eastern Conference Finals. So definitely they're kind of coming up as rivals. But it's not like, past times with, like, the Pistons. Like, if you played the Pistons, like, it's always, like, a physical battle and things like that.
Today's NBA is a lot softer than.
Yeah,
I don't think they could compete with like Michael Jordan and other players.
Not in the paint, not at all.
Mm-mm.
It has developed a lot more into shooting.
Yeah.
Everyone is shooting.
Yeah, if you can't shoot the ball anymore, then
you're out.
You have to be.
Why do you think
really,
LeBron
really
is pulling up at three so much more? People are criticizing him for it, but he's just developing.
Same thing. That was the only.
New
That's what everyone questioned. Like, when Ben Simmons came in the league, always questioned his jump shot. Like, they never focused on how great he is driving in the paint or getting rebounds or passing the ball and things like that. Let's move on to NFL though. What is the next NFL dynasty?
I got the Jags. They got the second best defense in the league. They got a good running back in Fournette and one of the best corners in the league in Jalen Ramsey. And they almost beat the Patriots this year in the playoffs, so they might make it next year to the Super Bowl.
You really got the Jags though.
The Jaguars.
Like, coming up as a dynasty.
You're gonna skip. I would take the Falcons over the Jaguars.
The only thing they need is a quarterback.
Yeah, but that's
a quarterback is
exactly.
A main part.
But Blake can still play. He led them to 24 points over the Patriots. If the refs
and
didn't
then
cheat,
the Patriots came
back.
But
there's so many young quarterbacks coming in the league now that he's gonna have to compete with it. I just don't think he can hang with.
I got the Rams. Like, they got a young quarterback, Jared Goff, along with their running back Todd Gurley, and they have an amazing offense.
I mean, if you think about it, I think the NFL Eagles are definitely going to be the next dynasty. If you think about it, they got a great offense and defense. That defense is dominant. Okay, some people like to question the secondary a little bit. They're developing. Okay, Jalen Mills is a great corner. No, Jalen Mills is definitely a good secondary player. Also, like Malcolm Jenkins and things like that. Also, great young quarterback. Carson Wentz, before he went down, MVP caliber. Definitely better than Tom Brady this season, I believe.
They definitely got a decision to make if they going to bring back Foles and start him over Wentz.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I think Carson Wentz will come back. I think he probably won't play for the first, couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, but he'll definitely get that starting quarterback job back. Also, the coach is very aggressive, so that's basically he won them the Super Bowl with that.
With the Rams, you got Sean McVay, 2017 Coach of the Year.
Okay, but listen,
he's there.
Who won the Super Bowl? Who?
Right.
That fourth down play by Doug Peterson, they would have lost if they didn't make that. That drawn up play, trick play to Nick Foles, was money on no. And also, best fans to support. You go to any game you
fans.
Destructive fans.
You see what they
passionate fans. When it was Eagles versus Rams, there was more Eagles fans than you saw Rams fans. You see them travel everywhere. Yes,
they travel everywhere. But how is
passionate?
That doesn't
Their city has never won a Super Bowl before, so obviously it's gonna get a little crazy. But can you blame them? You gotta.
They were
flipping a car.
They're crazy when they're not even good.
But listen, it's just called passionate, all right? It's a little passionate. Also, the running backs that they got Jay Ajayi. Corey Clement played amazing in the Super Bowl. Also, LeGarrette Blount. He is getting a little old now, but that's why Corey Clement could come in.
The Rams, all they need to do is build up a good defense against Aaron Donald, who won Defensive Player of the Year. All right? That's all they need.
Eagles already did that.
That's just one player.
Eagles already did that.
They already have a good defense. They just need to build it
but not
up
better
more.
than the Jags or the Eagles.
Eagles got a better defensive line than the Jags.
Yeah.
You got a better secondary, I give you that. But definitely, the defensive front. And even just the Eagles had the most dominant offensive line, and they have amazing wide receivers. Yeah. So I really don't think you could counter with the Eagles.
I think the Jags though they could be a contender.
If they could get a better quarterback,
maybe some
they
receivers.
Would be scary. Rams are also pretty scary. Just they have some things to work on. I definitely think Carson Wentz would be the better quarterback than Jared Goff. But that's another discussion.
He's up and coming.
On to our debate question. Do championships really matter?
I'm going to be in the middleman here. I think they do, but they also don't. You can be a great player, but if you never win a championship, what's behind you?
Okay.
Yeah, but Westbrook, he went 80 games last year with a triple-double, so
that's why
he doesn't need a championship.
He's good. You can be a good player without a championship, but you don't leave behind the reputation that you want.
Listen.
But he left her. He's leaving behind a reputation.
No.
Carmelo Anthony too.
I'm gonna have to side with Tyree on this one. Okay. I feel like championships only show an organization success, and I don't think they matter as much because if you really look at it, like, okay, Tom Brady won 5 rings. You got Michael Jordan who has 6. You have Bill Russell who has 11. So, but if you look at better players, like we try to make the argument all the time that Will Chamberlain is better than Bill Russell. He scored 100 points. Okay, but Bill Russell has more rings. Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron. I feel like LeBron's better than Kobe, but Kobe has more rings. I just think it shows more.
Well, Kobe is also older and has had that time. You don't know. LeBron could come back.
I know.
And
I'm
win
saying.
more rings.
I just think the rings show an organization success. What do you have to say?
I guess like you don't really need rings, but they do help like to show how good a player is. Like, cause you could get carried in two rings, but you could be a bad player. Like,
that's like saying the bench guy who rode the bench with Michael Jordan for all 6 rings is better than LeBron because he has more rings.
People don't look at those people like that, though. They look at the great players who brought that team to the championship. They see people carrying the team
but
to
like
the
JR,
win.
he didn't contribute in the last championship that much, but he still gets a ring, and he's still looked at as almost a Hall of Famer.
I mean, it's just like...
I don't know. I definitely feel like rings will show an organization's success than a player's success.
Yeah.
You know, even Brian Scalabrine, he has, I think, one ring. But, okay, but Allen Iverson has 0, and yet we could say Brian Scalabrine is better than Allen Iverson because he has more rings.
Yeah.
So it just really kind of goes both ways.
It can be either, but...
Well, that wraps up for today's show. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm Tyree.
And I'm Cole.
And this has been Sports Rush.